Yo people, welcome back to another video. Now last night or early this morning, I actually stayed up from 3 a.m. onwards to watch AAA. It was the first time I actually watched it live. Usually I watch highlights if I do end up watching it. The show was actually pretty entertaining, to be honest, and a far better product in my opinion than what we get on a regular SmackDown, for example, or in general what WWE is offering right now. Although a lot of the talent, obviously, they came from WWE to be in this show because obviously they have that collaboration deal thing. WWE obviously took over AAA, but it was still good to see this product. I think one thing that was important to see was just how appreciative these fans are just to see these WWE superstars in general, and how good and entertaining these wrestlers can be when they aren't in the usual cookie cutter copy and paste scripts that WWE and Triple H force all these wrestlers to do and to be in, which ultimately makes everything decline, become boring and repetitive as we're currently seeing. Overall, the matches were interesting, a lot more energetic, a lot more entertaining, even things that fans will call cringe, and I know Triple H cringes at things like what I'm about to say. But things like El Iguana and Finn Balor doing that whole puppet fighting thing, as much as people want to say it's cringe, as much as Triple H will roll his eyes or whatever, it reminds you that wrestling is about storytelling and entertainment. Those two puppets are comfortably more over in AAA than Rusev is on WWE. Even people like Jade Cargill, War Raiders, most of the tag team division, just to give some examples. Having said that, there were some genuine cringe things that you can tell WWE forced in. Triple H had a say on these things, and he doesn't realize he is the cringe one, not people that are actually trying to entertain. He is by thinking other things are cringe, which stops him from actually experimenting and just being a free thinker. The first match of the night was an 8-man tag match. I'll be honest, I didn't have an idea of who most of these people were. I knew the LWO and the odd person just from reels and all of that stuff, but they held it down. They had a lot of great spots across the match, a lot of energy, a lot of high intensity, which is exactly what you need for an opening match, especially if you aren't putting the heavy hitters on first to open the event. I'm seeing these guys put on better matches than the scrubs that we're seeing in WWE being forced on us. So yeah, overall this match was pretty interesting. The team of La Parca ended up winning, but overall a good viewing to start the show. I feel like shows like this one allow the wrestlers to be more free in a way because they're getting more time. However, they are being put under pressure because the company is giving them time to do things. If they don't deliver, they might not return to that situation, but the pressure is exactly what a lot of WWE superstars need, and a lot of them are very comfortable. They're just doing whatever they want. People will cheer for them regardless, so they don't feel the need to improve. So I think settings like these ones actually help people to gain a lot more experience and do their thing. It's like a live show for a lot of these WWE guys. Sure, a lot of them are above a show like this in theory, but they should be here. Rhea Ripley should be in this. Tiffany Stratton should be in this. Those guys still don't know how to cut a promo, and we're being told they're main event level superstars. Anyways, next came Natalya's match, and to be honest, I don't know what she's doing here. It's 2025. I don't understand why she's still here. They could easily give that spot to someone else, someone much younger in NXT, or even someone like Raquel Rodriguez or Stephanie Vaquer. But yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't really watch this because it was a bit dry at the beginning and I didn't want to fall asleep, because if I fall asleep it's over. So I was literally walking around the house trying to stay awake during this match. Next up was a tag team match for the AAA tag team titles, and it was a match that involved the New Day, and again, the match was solid. We had Psycho Clown with his gimmick, and it's these small little things that Triple H will be like, oh, what's that? That's boring. Who cares about that? But at the end of the day, it's small things like this which can go a long way to entertaining the crowd. Even Xavier Woods doing his usual heel antics with the crowd and everything. I really can't deal with Grayson Waller, by the way. I cannot take him seriously. I think him being in the New Day lowers the New Day big time, and this loss just lowers their stocks even more, as Triple H shows that he cannot book for shit. He doesn't know what he's doing, especially when it comes to the tag team division. I don't even know why they needed a third member. Why did Grayson Waller have to be in the New Day? What, just because Austin Theory got injured? That doesn't even make sense. Just push Grayson Waller to the side and find a third member that actually deserves to be there. It just felt like Triple H was looking for a third member for the New Day. He walked backstage one day, saw Grayson Waller just picking his nose, doing fuck all, and said, yep, add him to the New Day. Also, why couldn't we see Andrade and Rey Fenix in this match, for example, since they've done nothing since SummerSlam and they actually have good chemistry and were building up decent momentum on SmackDown, and now we never see them, so why couldn't they be in this? But yeah, anyways, we saw the New Day lose yet again, and after the match, the Wyatt Six The Wyatt Six attacked Psycho Clown and Pagano to hint at them kind of facing the Wyatt Six soon for the titles. But to be honest, this is once again showing that Triple H cannot book the tag team division. This was cringe. This is cringe. No one wants to see the Wyatt Six on SmackDown, let alone on AAA. They barely get reactions when they appear. People boo them when they're about to win matches, and it's not a heelish boo. It's a boo because people don't want to see it. And what do they get as a reward for not being wanted and for being boring? Being forced to chase more titles and potentially win more gold. It's an absolute joke. Next was a mixed tag team match between Mr. Iguana and Lola Vice versus Roxanne Perez and Finn Balor. We already knew why Roxanne was in this match, and it was to eat the pin, which she did. However, one thing I'll say, she actually looked a lot better in this match than what she does a lot of the time on the main roster. Lola Vice, she actually held it down. I've never actually seen her a full match of hers. You see the highlights and stuff on NXT, but this is the first time I've actually seen her. She does rely a lot on the same kicks and the punches, those UFC type of moves, but one thing I can say, she's not being choppy, she's not being botchy, and I think that's a good start for her. Obviously, she's not reached the main roster yet, but she's giving a good account of herself. Also, shout out to Damian Priest. If you know, you know. But yeah, Lola Vice, she ended up winning this one, and it was a good match in general, especially the whole tension built around Finn Balor's demon puppet, as once again, a wrestling company shows Triple H how easy it can be to get something or someone over, and this time it's a puppet. Finn Balor brought the puppet in a black bag, and the rest of the match just relied on when is he going to take out the puppet from the bag, what's Mr. Iguana going to do, what's the puppet going to do. People, again, will call this cringe, but it's entertainment, world wrestling entertainment, and we're not getting that from WWE at the moment. We're getting speeches, we're getting monologues, we're getting squash matches. No one cares about those things. The penultimate match was the AAA Latin American Championship, where the champion ended up retaining. I won't lie, I was crumbling at this point. It was like 5 a.m, so I could not afford to doze off because I wanted to see the main event, Dominik Mysterio. It was more of the same from what I was seeing in this match. Good caliber match, good spots. Nice to see people like JD have solo matches for once as well, which is the good thing about this type of show, where other talents get to shine. They get to have their own time to do their own thing, gain experience, try new things with the crowd, hone in their craft, see what works, what doesn't work, learn a lot about crowd control, and all these little details that they'd be learning if WWE did more live events. But thanks to TKO and the money pinching techniques that they're trying to do, they actually eliminated most of those live shows this year. Last but not least was El Hijo del Vikingo versus Dominik Mysterio, and this match was really good in my opinion, apart from the ending, but we'll get to that shortly. Dominik, as much as people complain about him and they talk about his build, they say he's overrated, nepotism, the usual hate, there's absolutely no denying his improvements, and he's one of the few younger wrestlers in WWE that has actually done his job these last few years, which is improve on his craft and go on an upwards trajectory. He's always been that. He always gets the loudest boos of the night when he does nothing. He has the presence, he has the charisma, he has the mic work, he's perfected that frog splash. I think he can still do more, of course. There's still always a lot more to do. I think if he can take advantage of his build as a high flyer, but also his stature, and add a few more power moves, I think that would help him massively. In general, add a few more moves to his repertoire and he will be cooking to the levels that we know he can reach. And with all this potential that he's had, he's got all the OGs, he's got people like John Cena saying we've not even seen his full potential yet. One negative, and I just spoke about it, about this match, was that I didn't like how much help Dominik Mysterio got at the end of the match. Now, I know it's what he was due, it's the usual thing, the bloodline will do it all the time, but I think the reason I didn't like it was it felt like there was 3 or 4 different times where he got help, as opposed to the Judgment Day appear one time, they help, El Grande Americano appears one time, and they help. It felt like the Judgment Day did it twice, and El Grande Americano did it twice. So if they could have reduced it, I think it would have been better, because the amount of assists he got kind of discredits his match. And then you got all the crybabies saying, oh, without the help, he wouldn't have won. Yeah, well, he actually had a good match up until that point. But anyways, we now enter this reign of Dom 2 belts, the king of the luchadores, and it will be interesting to see where this whole thing goes. We saw at the end Rey Mysterio crowned his son, and while they stayed in character, Dom was being a heel, he was being a dick to his dad, so that was pretty funny to see, to be honest. We also saw Dominik after the match keep that storytelling element going with the Judgment Day with El Grande Americano, where Finn and JD were kind of jealous at the celebrations because Dominik seemed to be a lot more appreciative of El Grande more than the Judgment Day. Now check out my theory video I posted recently where I discuss where I think the Judgment Day is heading, and a little spoiler I'll give you is this whole thing involves AJ Styles if my prediction, my theory is to be true. I'm not entirely sure when this match will take place, but we saw at the start of this whole event that Penta said he was going to challenge the winner. So obviously now we have Dominik Mysterio versus Penta for the AAA Mega Championship. I believe it's the 27th of September, the next time they should face each other, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, overall, AAA was a pretty good show. Far better than what I expected. The only stupidity was that it started at 3 AM for me because that's when SmackDown ended. So yeah, they need to prioritize this more considering they ideally want more people to be watching this product, and especially if it's going to have WWE talent in it. But apart from that, if the timing was a bit better, I think I'd actually watch this show a lot more often. As always, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments if you watched this, if you didn't watch this, what you think is going to happen with the Judgment Day and all the characters we saw WWE-wise. It can be the New Day, whoever you want. I'd appreciate if you could leave a like on the video, sub to the channel, and thank you for your time.